Huber,
Yo.
times are good
Times are so good
for Dragon Quest.
for Dragon Quest.
Yeah. We both got to play Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remaster.
Coming in a 2-pack.
Yeah, coming in a 2-pack.
So sweet.
Yeah, and they actually talked about this. I don't know how much of the spiel you got because he didn't,
was downstairs.
He didn't
I
wait
don't
for you to come upstairs. It would have just been one more minute. But anyways, but yeah. So Huber was running a little behind. That leads to another funny moment. We'll get to in a minute. But they were saying that like Dragon Quest 3 did way better than they expected. Dragon Quest has been building in the West and
Square-Enix it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Fails to meet sales expectations on things, exceeds sales, like, okay.
But the difference, though, between Dragon Quest 3 and 1 and 2 is that 1 and 2 were much simpler games.
Oh, yeah. Dragon Warrior 1, dude.
And
so simple.
They were really worried about, them feeling like not enough. And so they've actually added a lot into these games. And still the combined 1 and 2 essentially is roughly the same length as 3.
Yeah.
But they've added cutscenes, they've added voice acting, they've added a lot more story elements and stuff in there.
Yeah. They did the same with 3. They added some stuff here and there. So.
Yeah. But I think it's just the sense that like there's a lot more
Definitely
here that they've added for sure.
Yeah.
And then they said there's even like a new ending for 2 that ties all 3 of them together.
That's great.
That they've put in there. The other really big difference between among them, I guess, is that the original Dragon Quest, you don't have a party.
Exactly.
You have one guy.
One dude, Dragon Warrior, singular. Exactly.
And so it's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah, whole different vibe.
And
I love it too because your sprite in that one is super chunky.
Yeah.
You like see him just like standing there. He's like, brr. It's cool.
Yeah. So we played a bit. We were only there for an hour, including like the presentation time and everything. And just the time to walk up to the office.
Not a lot of time.
So we played a little bit of Dragon Quest, a little bit of Dragon Quest 2, and then I did it wrong. Because while Chad was giving the presentation, he was like, "Is Huber here yet?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, Huber's just trying to figure out where to go." And I'm like, I'm texting Huber, and I missed.
I was just downstairs in the lobby, dude. I signed in. I was just sitting there. I was like,
yeah. Well, no, before you were sitting there, you like texted me like you were in the parking garage and you didn't know where to go, right?
Yeah.
So he just went ahead and gave us the presentation while you sat there, and I was texting you, so I missed that like, I'm just supposed to click on the save file. So I clicked on new game both times, and I'm just like, why is this taking me so long to get to the point that they told me to try to get to?
Unhinged Bloodworth.
And it was so funny because like he didn't even catch it until like the end of the session.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you're at a spot no one's been at."
Yeah, nobody else has seen that. And I'm like, well, yeah.
God, Bloodworth.
I started
Mad lad
and watched all these long cutscenes and everything.
Maniac. Yeah, my demo just started right in town, ready to go.
Yeah, I was walking all around the castle and checking things out, go downstairs. But one of the things about that, though, with Dragon Quest 1, it was so funny because without a party, I was finding like strength seeds and agility seeds and defense seeds. And it's just like, I don't have to like stress about who to give this to. Just like pop it.
Pop it all, dude.
If I find a seed, just pop it.
Pop those seeds. Even when I have a party in those games, I always give my hero like all of the seeds.
Yeah, well, but I mean, but that's the thing is 2, because I've never played 2. And 2's setup is really interesting because there is a character that you name.
Yeah.
But you can name all 3 of them. You can change the other characters' names if you want to. And they are all 3, at least from what I've seen so far, seem to be the hero.
Defined, yeah.
They're all descendants.
Which I like, because in 3 can get pretty rough because it's like you and your nameless party.
Yeah,
you know, it's just...
And Chad was also saying that like you get them kind of like an older Final Fantasy game where it's like you go through the story and you get them at certain points in the story. So
for sure,
that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah. Aesthetically, visually, all that stuff looks the same too if you play Dragon Quest 3 HD-2D. Really uniform trilogy here now. Just in its design and everything. And like you said, them adding enhancing the ending of 2, really tying this package together and the fact that 1 and 2 come together. I mean, this is a nice little. We're eating good, dude. We're eating good with 3 full-on Dragon Quest games. Like, the easiest recommendation to anyone who likes Japanese RPGs at all.
Yeah.
So.
Although I will say, I normally don't ride in with you on this, but just from what I played at Dragon Quest 1,
yeah.
You gotta bump that difficulty up.
You gotta bump it, dude.
You gotta bump it up because
Every
this is
time.
way easier than the original game.
Dude, it's either like
the original game.
Yeah, I know.
I would walk outside of town.
I know.
Fight 2 or 3 guys and like I gotta go back to town.
Yeah.
And this time it's just like going through. And one of the things that like
Draconic.
One of the things that they updated is that like when you level up, it heals you.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the case in the original game.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like I remember having to go back to town a lot before I got to like level 4 or 5. It's like, okay, now I can go to wherever I need to go.
Yeah. That's what I always.
Yeah.
That's what I prefer the harder difficulty. You know, I'm all for everybody being able to play everything their way, but my way, my experiences, especially with RPGs, this is where a lot of that came from. Blood. My love for the economy came from Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah.
Because it was so difficult. Buying a weapon in a shop was a real game changer. You buy that thing and it's like, okay, like I'm hitting harder now. I'm like lasting longer in dungeons. So just like I like working for it and engaging with the combat systems. And like you're saying, it was so easy. Obviously, we're early on, but just like attack, auto attack. I don't even need to think strategy. I don't even need to think about managing my mana because I'm not even using my mana. I'm just auto attacking. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, like with Dragon Quest III specifically, I played with Draconic difficulty on. That's insanely hard. You know, it would be nice if there was maybe a middle ground because it's like, all right, super easy. I can turn my brain off. I don't even need to think about a lot of things. Then Draconic is like you're talking about
there is
grind.
actually an easier mode too. It's like I can't even imagine how easy it is.
Yeah.
Compared to the default.
Yeah. But the Draconic it's a grind.
But like
for sure.
But as you're saying, like one thing that's really nice is even though like I had completely ignored the instructions and had searched all over the place and gotten all this extra gold, I still couldn't really buy hardly anything in that shop. Like there were so many other like weapons and things that were like gotta get there, gotta earn it.
Exactly. Managing your money while also managing like how far you go into a dungeon to potentially find some loot to get the item, to get like a sword or an armor piece. So I love just like combining that way to obtain gear.
Yeah.
And when your economy doesn't matter, it's like that doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah. One of the things they brought back from 3 as well is in the overworld there'll be like little sparkly spots, little treasures, like usually not a big treasures, but like some extra.
I found a piece of armor that was like +2 defense from what I had.
That's one thing I think is really funny is when you get into an RPG and it's like, look, you found armor that's less valuable than your starting armor. Cool. I guess if I want to make it harder on myself, I can do that too. I can just put on weaker armor.
I was thinking for the alchemy probably. Maybe it was like,
that's
sell
true.
it
That's
and
true.
combine it with something.
I did find a mini medal.
Yep.
I found one mini medal.
Mini medals. Love them.
I really, and maybe this song was in 3 as well, but I didn't remember it. But I really like the town song.
Oh my god!
In Dragon Quest 1.
Yes.
That remake song version of they did was really, really nice.
Some of the best usage of music ever. And I think that's what really speaks to the vibe of Dragon Quest is it feels so artful. You know? Like even when a cut scene or like a story moment is happening, just the pace of it, you know, the characters will kind of walk out or like a stage play, you know, they'll walk to their marks, deliver a line, you know, the music is going. It's just so it's cliche, but it really is magical, man.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest is pure magic.
What else was in there? Oh, what I found very interesting, and I'm definitely curious because Dragon Quest 1 is like a game that I know fairly well. Like
shout out to Matt Blair, dude.
It's probably been a good 10 or 15 years since I last played it.
Yeah.
But still, like I have a pretty good perception of what that game is supposed to look and feel like in my head. And so it was really crazy to like go into this dungeon and just not feel like I know where I am. Right? Yeah. And
super fun.
And then like they've added this thing where like there are these other characters in there that are like, we're gonna pretend, because you're going there to like prove that you're the hero. Like you need the proof from the grave or whatever. And there are these other like pretenders, like basically grave robbers. Like I'm the hero.
It's me.
And so it's really funny to like wander around that dungeon and then like one by one they've chickened out one way or another.
Hiding in the corner. Like, it's very dark over here. So playful. It's always so serious, so playful. It really balances the emotions really well. You know, kind of like Yakuza does, where it can be like super duper funny, lighthearted, and then get, you know, pretty serious, pretty heavy. Yeah.
And because I saw the one of the opening cutscenes of Dragon Quest II, this town just gets like full on demolished,
obliterated
by demons.
Classic.
Man. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, classic.
And I was surprised by how good that looked with like some of the camera angles and stuff, because it's like, it's not super high budget. You know,
but
it's like you could see all the scenes in the polygons. It's gonna run on the Switch 1, like you know.
But gosh, does it look and sound good? Yeah, honestly.
And then
combat again. Very similar to 3, everybody. So if you played that, you're super familiar with combat, turn
basic
order,
attacks, unlock
abilities, spells, and battle speed as well. You can crank up to 3x, like normal, fast, ultra fast.
Yeah, it's super nice because when you're in a battle, you can just hit the shoulder buttons and decrease the speed.
I just max immediately.
Yeah, same with me. I did like one fight without it, and I'm like, oh, let's do this now.
Yeah, a must for sure.
And then some of the spells like Sizz will like only hit like enemies with like groups.
Yep.
So you hit a group of enemies, but not all enemies.
Actually, one thing I noticed that I don't remember from 3 at all. The only new addition that I really saw was enemy weaknesses. I went to do a Sizz spell, and I was highlighting enemies, and it said vulnerable over the enemy. And I was like, I do not remember that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not at all remember that visual indicator to say that spell is a counter or weakness for them.
I also saw a lot more enemy variety right off the bat, and that's one of the things. It's so interesting for them to be remaking the first game like this, because I definitely have some mixed feelings on that. Because it's like, okay, like I understand, like they're worried about it not feeling like enough, right? So
because 1 is such a small game.
Yeah.
Our perception of Dragon Quest and JRPGs are 50, 80, 100 hours, and it's like, no, 1 is like less than 10. Yeah.
And but same thing there was like, because it was the first game, it didn't have as much enemy variety and as many enemy designs, and like already like just walking from the town to the first dungeon, I'm seeing guys that like, there's no way this guy was in
like,
in 1. Like or if it was way later in the game. You know, it's like that first stretch, it was like slimes and draggies. It's pretty much what you got.
Yeah, you know? A lot of slimes. For sure.
But I'm very curious to see how it's all gonna look like as time goes on.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Get through there, fight the Dragon Lord.
I love that it's a double pack. I love that we got 3 before. They're doing everything right.
And again, I've never played 2, so there's that.
I definitely have never finished 2. And then of course we have Dragon Quest 12, which they just commented on. That's still cooking and coming, hopefully one day, eventually. But I wonder, now that they've done 1 through 3, do they do 4, 5, 6?
Right.
You know, because those were famously ported to the DS. Those versions were sick.
Yeah, no, I really, I never played the DS versions, but I played 4 on the NES and absolutely love it.
Yeah. And then, of course, my favorite RPG of all time, Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah.
Like we had the 3DS version, we had the mobile version. Where is just a good old-fashioned console port, for crying out loud? Just let us play. Yeah. So I feel like they know, and maybe something's cooking there down the line.
I mean, hopefully, you know, that positive reception to 3 will spur them, and we'll get a similar thing with 1 and 2, and we can get more. I do think that, as we get deeper in, that they will have to be, like single games. Like 4 is a very meaty game.
Yeah. 7 is insane.
Yeah, but even 7 is like you're already like it's like okay, do they even take the same approach? Because
what do you
I think
do?
4, 5, and 6 you can take the HD-2D route.
Absolutely. Once you get to 7,
you're a totally different ball game. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but
love it.
They're announcing the date, which is October 30th.
Sweet. Happy Halloween, Dragon Quest.
And everything. It is on PC. It is on PlayStation. It is on Xbox. It is on Switch. It is on Switch 2.
Is it on Steam and Epic?
I'm sure both. Yes.
Yeah. It's like all the things.
I have no reason to doubt that it will be on both of those stores. Yeah. So there we go.
Get it everywhere.
Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. Thanks everyone for watching. We've been putting a lot of previews up, and we got Summer Game Fest coming, so please take a look around the channel, see what you might have missed lately, and be ready for Summer Game Fest in just a few short weeks. And if you like what you see, we are supported by people just like you, just pitching in $5 a month. So get over there, keep it happening. Go to patreon.com/easyallies to support us, and thank you for watching.